Hello, my loves. You have now had your fourth training. So, this is your fourth reflection. And I would love to know what shadow has had the most power over you, do you feel, after watching that training video? And if you fully integrated and you accepted and you embraced that shadow, what do you think your life would look like? Just as like a little comparison. See how that feels for you. Um, Something else that you can do that's really cool for this is imagine like your future self, like the old lady version of you, or go backwards and imagine like 5-year-old you, whichever one feels right for you. And what would they say to you about your life right now? Because very often, I mean, children don't have that filter anyway. Like they're very good at integrating their shadows, and that's why, they have tantrums, they act out. All they are doing is feeling their feelings and allowing their shadows to show, right? And this is why, if you have children and they annoy you or they piss you off, it is said that they are just reflecting your own shadow back to you. So interesting food for thought there for you because children embrace their shadow, they show it, they're not afraid to show it. And similarly with old people, we often find that our grandparents or the elderly, they don't tend to have that filter, which I think is just phenomenal. And I absolutely love that because they don't hold back, right? So another beautiful way that you can connect to your own shadow is to either go backwards and think about 5-year-old little you, or think about that older version of you and what they would say to you, because they're probably not going to have a filter. They're going to embrace that shadow aspect. Okay. And another really fun thing that I would love for you to do today is in the comments to this video or as your own post, whichever you prefer, whichever feels good, write a message to your shadow. That shadow could be little you, it could be future you, it could be you right now, but write them a message in the comments or in your own post because they're watching, right? So play with that and have fun with that. And same as always, share with me what you learned about yourself from this training, what one small shift you're going to make based on the training. So training number four, how you can apply the lessons that you learned to your life right now as well. And let me know what comes through for you. Also on this video, I have just got some questions that I am often asked, and we are going to do a Q&A at the end of this experiment anyway. We will do a live Q&A once I'm back from honeymoon. But I just want to share some of the things that I am asked really frequently about my courses, my programs, and the methods that I used. So one of the things that I am asked a lot is how it's different. Okay, how is the work that I do different? Because there are so many coaches out there, so many mentors, especially now relating to spirituality or manifestation or success, or mindset work. There are so many options out there. So, how is it different when you work with me? And what I always say is it's not about the fluff. Okay. You will all know I love my rituals. I'm a practicing witch. Of course, I love my rituals. But the work that I do isn't fluff because, as you probably established from the training in here, it's not about forcing positivity. It's not about chasing your goals. It's not about climbing to reach a level because as soon as you get there, if you get there, there's going to be another one anyway. And it constantly keeps you on that ladder and keeping to try and keep going and struggling and hustling. And that is not my vibe at all. I am not here to hustle. I am here to love my work, absolutely, but we're not here to be constantly striving for something else. We want to enjoy the journey that we're on and enjoy where you are right now as well. So the work that I do is incredibly deep. It's raw subconscious work, but it's also blended with that spirituality and with science as well that actually shift your inner wiring. So my background, in case you're not aware, is in psychology and it's in education. So you're not learning how to be better because you don't need to be better. You need to be you. So you're learning how to be real. And that is what changes everything. And I know because I've been there. Okay. So that is the difference. And people also say to me, I've done shadow work before, or I've worked with a therapist before, is this going to tell me anything new? And if you've watched these videos or you recognize that you're stuck in the same loops, then yes, quite simply, it will help you because what we're going to do is peel back layers that most people never touch. And you'll have heard me mention this in the training videos as well, because quite often they don't even know that they're there. So if you're working with coaches or therapists or counselors, if they've not done the work, then they won't know that they're there either. Okay. So it's not just about journaling. It's not just about connecting with like your inner child, as beautiful as that is. It's facing the unconscious programming and the unconscious programming in your nervous system as well that's running your entire life. And that's what is essential to do. Something else that people ask quite a lot, obviously, I am known for manifestation. And when I released my book and I did like my first book signings and things, people would be like, "Oh, don't really believe in that," or "I'm scared of that." Was often a comment as well. And if you're in that place and you're like, "I'm not really sure if I believe in this manifestation," good, because you are exactly where you need to be right now. And I'm not going to teach you to believe in manifestation because that's not what's important. I'm going to show you how it works in your mind, in your body, in your nervous system, in your frequency, energetics. There's no unicorns here, which is very sad. But it is grounded science, psychology, neuroscience, biology, honest tools, methods that I have refined over the last decade, techniques that I have tried and tested with hundreds of clients and myself. So the results speak for themselves. Okay. So it doesn't matter if you don't believe because I'm going to show you how it works. And that for me, that was the key because as much as I have always been spiritual, I'm not fluffy. So I am very scientific. I need to know how and why things are working. And then if they're not, I can problem solve that and figure that out. And that's exactly how I've created my methods and like the rewire and shift techniques that I use because I've figured out, well, if that doesn't work, then why? And what else is needed in the brain to allow it to work? Okay. Um, Another question I get asked a lot is, well, what if I already know what's wrong with me? And I'm not here to pick at people and say what's wrong with you. That's a self-discovery thing. If you think there is something wrong with you, and it is never that there's something wrong with you or that you need fixing. Again, we're not here for that vibe. But if you have identified that there is a problem, and you may have identified that through this training as well, knowing what the problem is doesn't solve it. Knowing that you do self-sabotage doesn't stop you. Knowing that you need boundaries doesn't force you to set them. So the work that we do in the academy or with my clients, that is the work that bridges the gap between awareness and action. And we do that by going underneath what your conscious, rational human brain can reach. Okay. And on a similar note, you might be like, well, I know that I want to change, but I still don't do the things that I know will help me. And this happens a lot. And I've 100% been there. I've invested thousands and thousands into my own self-development and my own personal growth. Sometimes I have done those things that I needed to do in order to make the change. Other times I have let them sit there and collect dust, even though I know it will help me. And I've seen this happen as well in my world, when people will buy like the portal access and they have access to so many like trainings from the last 5 years, but they don't necessarily watch them or do the things that they're guiding them to do. And this is just, again, another example of your system trying to protect you from change. And it sounds backwards and bizarre, but your brain will literally think safety equals familiarity. So that is why most mindset work does fail because it doesn't speak the same language of the subconscious or of your physical body, whereas I do. And that's why it works. So it's not a quick fix, it's a real fix because things will keep working and progressing for you long after we've done a session together, long after you've done an activity, you filled in a workbook, same as what you've probably established here in this experiment. And this is where we lead to those breakthroughs that you didn't even know you needed in your relationships, in your health, in your confidence, your money, your self-worth, whatever it is. So it's a real thing. Okay. It's not a quick thing. As much as the shifts and the transformations can be quick rather than taking months or years, absolutely they can be rapid, but it's a real long-term thing for you. This is something that will literally serve you for life and can be applied to everything. And it's not just for spiritual people, it's not just if you are a business owner or a fellow entrepreneur, it is for humans. So whether you are scaling a business or whether you're healing from burnout or whether you're breaking those toxic cycles or you just finally want to take yourself seriously, the experiment, hopefully you've seen, meets you where you are and invites you to go deeper, and the academy allows you to go to those depths. Okay. And the last question I get asked a lot is, will this actually work for me? And whether I offer any guarantees. And it's always really hard with the nature of this work to offer a guarantee because it really depends on whether you're going to show up, firstly, um, which can be a huge thing. And that's why, investment levels need to be at a certain point because they have to give you that allowance to show up, which you may have found with this. So sometimes whenever I run free trainings, I could easily have sold this experiment as a course for, £500, £1,000, whatever. But I wanted this to be accessible to everyone. But that doesn't mean that everyone will still show up and do it. So it depends on how much you show up, which can be quite telling depending on how much you've shown up in this space. And also if you're ready to stop pretending that you're okay and you're fine. And you want to drop that mask of, yes, I'm doing the work, but actually you're still secretly staying safe in your patterns and your loops. And if you're ready to get uncomfortable and be honest and be free to really get to know yourself and to be you, if yes, then yes, it will absolutely work for you. But you have to be in that place. And it's okay if you're not, because your soul will always bring you back because it knows you're meant for more and you're meant to be here and to do this work. But there is only 1% of the population that does actually follow through. And that is why the 1% are incredibly different and living a different life. So I hope that answers some of your questions because they're things that I do get asked a lot, but we will have the live Q&A when I am back as well. So you can ask away any other questions that you've got. But in the meantime, enjoy your reflections. Enjoy revisiting the trainings as you wish. You've still got one more to come as well. So I will see you on the next one. Mwah.